Hey guys, welcome back to my channel and happy Halloween. Today I'm doing a Halloween set for you, which is part of a collab with some beautiful girls. Make sure you hit subscribe and ring the notification bell so that you never miss out when I upload a video. So today I'll be using all products from SheModern along with 2 polishes from Beetles to create this beautiful Halloween look and the easiest ombre you will ever do. I also will be using a glow-in-the-dark top coat on a couple areas, so stay tuned because that is gorgeous. So first I'm going to lay down a white background just because the nails that I had on you saw in my previous video, and they are thermal color changing nails from the brand Babe Nails, but I didn't want that to show through and I want that color of the pigments to be super vibrant, so I applied 2 thin coats for my base, used alcohol to clean off the tacky layer, and now I'm using this glue gel, again by SheModern. Of course, everything will be linked down in the description below. So what you're going to do is just lay on your glue gel, and you want to keep it as thin as possible since we will be using 2 coats, and then we'll be adding some different things on top as well. But once you lay that down, you cure it for 30 seconds and it creates a nice tacky surface for your pigments. I believe it would also work with foils as well. So I'm using these pigments, 2 for each color. I'm going to use a neon purple and a regular purple, a neon orange and a regular orange, and a neon green and a regular green. And the reason for that is I really wanted vibrant colors that popped, but they didn't have enough depth to be Halloween for me. Just when you see that classic orange, purple, and green Halloween colors, you know, it looks a certain way, and the neons alone weren't that look for me. So I just added a bit of the regular colors and it gave me the perfect colors that I wanted, except for the purple. For the purple, I definitely would have done all regular purple rather than adding in that neon, because it did turn out a bit more pink than purple, but c'est la vie, such is life. Oh well. So these are just a couple makeup eyeshadow brushes that I have. They are pretty firm but do have a bit of spring to them, and I'm going to use those to pack on my pigment. So I'm starting with the purple and I'm packing that on at the top of the nail, and then after I pack that on, I kind of flip the nail over and just tap off the excess. Once I have that laid down the way that I want it to be, I go in with the orange. So when you apply the orange, this first layer I didn't do as well because this is my first time using these pigments. But to get a good blend, what you want to do is kind of move the colors into each other. And on this first layer, I didn't do that enough, so that kind of turned out more harsh and linear rather than blended. You can kind of see it there on the thumb that it's not as blended. Don't worry though, when I apply that second layer, you will see they blend much better. And then on my other hand, it was a lot easier because I'd already done this hand. So basically what you want to do is you lay down your purple. I use another brush to lay down my orange. Then I go back in with the purple just to blend it in a little bit further. And if you really need to, you can go back in with the orange. But I only have 2 brushes I'm using, so after I laid down the purple and orange, I cleaned off my purple brush really well. And now I'm using the green. You definitely want to make sure you clean it well, otherwise it would have given me brown rather than green. So I'm just packing on that green onto the tip of my nail and kind of bringing it up towards the orange. Then I go back in with the orange and bring it down, kind of swirling motions a bit into the green. So first what you do is you pack it on, and then you can kind of swirl it a bit to blend it really well. But you'll see on my second layer, it works a lot better. So I brush off all the excess, and because I'm going in with a second layer, I'm going to grab that glue gel once again and apply a second coat, cure it for 30 seconds, and we'll start that second layer. So because I finished with green last time, instead of cleaning my brush and starting with purple, I'm just going to continue and work backwards from the green. So I lay down the green and I bring it further up into the orange, as you can see here. You're still going to get a good orange section because you're going to bring the orange down into the green, and it just really helps blend those colors together rather than leaving a harsh line between the two. So after laying down the orange, I go back in with the green just once more to create a perfect blend. Then I clean off my brush and I'm going in with the purple, bringing that down into the orange, and then I will bring the orange back up into the purple. Then we're going to brush off all the excess. And if you were going to leave it just as an ombre, you can just go in with your top coat. But I am going to apply some water decals, so I'm now using their grip gel and then curing that for 30 seconds. If you don't have the grip gel but you want to use the water decals, you can use any base coat that you like, because the grip gel is basically very similar, although it can be used as a top coat as well, which I do use it that way in this set. But it has that sticky inhibition layer, which is what those water decals will really grab onto. So I'm just cutting out my water decal, and you want to make sure you cut as close to the image as possible. Then I'm going to lay down some water and roll that decal into the water. I did forget to cut slits into this so that it lays nicely, but I'll do that here in a moment. So once I have that coated in water, then I use a stamper for nail stamping and I pick up the decal. Then because it's on there, it's really easy to gently slide the paper backing off and then roll the image onto the nail. Here you can see how I'm just cutting in those slits because I'd forgotten to do that before and it wasn't laying flat. And then I'm just going back in with another layer of the grip gel to top coat the image and give a really nice glossy coat to my nails. So moving on to the next image, I'm going to use this ghost. And I am going to use this one. It's kind of like a blue metallic, but it does look black in the way that I'm going to use it. This is going to be my background ghost because I'm going to offset a white ghost on top of it, which you'll see in a few moments. But after I cut it out, now I'm remembering to go in and cut slits so that it can lay nicely and flat on the nail. Then I'm adding some water onto my little clear plastic bit, rolling that in the water just to make sure it's fully coated, and then picking it up with the rubber stamper. Now this technique of using the rubber stamper to pick up and lay down the decal, I learned this from SheModern because they have tutorials and video clips on their Instagram. So I will have their Instagram linked down below. Make sure you check that out because they have a lot of great tutorials and ideas on there as well. So once I laid down that ghost, I am just going back over with a very thin layer of my grip gel, and I'm going to cut out my white ghost. So again, you want to cut as close to the image as possible, and then you're going to cut out little slits into your image. Now the slits won't show in your final image. They just give it some flexibility so that it can lay flat on the nail rather than having edges that kind of stick up. So then once I pick it up on my stamper, very, very gently kind of push on that paper backing until you feel it release, and then slowly move it off to the side. You want to do it slowly so it doesn't rip your decal. Then I'm going to offset it from the ghost I had already laid down, and that's going to give it the shadow effect that I was looking for. And then I'm going to top coat it with my grip gel. Now this ghost is one of the items that will be glow in the dark later. And now I'm just going in with a nail art thin brush and my white polish, and I'm creating a circle shape for my moon, which will also glow in the dark later. So I don't want this to be perfect, so that's why I didn't use a dotting tool. I also want it to be larger than any dotting tools that I have. I'm going to use a witch water decal in front of this moon later, so I'm laying this down first. And then once I get the shape that I like, I give that a flash cure. And now I'm getting some alcohol, putting that on my little palette, and I'm going to mix in just a little smidge tad bit of the white polish, and that way I can add in a diluted mixture around the edges of my moon. That way you don't have one solid image, you've got kind of the softened edges that give it that more realistic glow and make it more readable as a moon. So this is the glow in the dark top coat that I'm going to be using, and I'm going to put this on top of my moon and on top of my ghost. While I'm doing that, let me tell you a little bit about the collab that we're doing. I've got some beautiful ladies that I am collabing with for a Halloween and Autism Awareness. So autism is very near and dear to my heart because my 12-year-old son is on the high functioning side of the spectrum. So he's very intelligent and has a large vocabulary. If you met him, you wouldn't know he was autistic. Sorry, quick break. Look at that beautiful glow. I love it. And now I'm creating the hands, and these hands are, one, they're very Halloween-like, but two, they are a symbol for autism awareness. So getting back to what I was saying, my son is autistic. You wouldn't know it if you met him because he's so intelligent and communicates so well, but he doesn't have the social skills that other kids do. So Halloween is a very special time for him. He still trick-or-treats, and he carries a blue pumpkin to show that he is autistic. Now, blue pumpkins can also mean that the child has an allergy, and to give them something that is not edible so that you don't risk an allergic reaction. But it can also mean that the person is autistic. So if you see an adult trick-or-treating with a blue pumpkin, or any children with a blue pumpkin, please know they are autistic. They may not have the communication or social skills that we have. So be kind, have fun, be safe, and let those kids and adults have a beautiful, beautiful, fun, magical Halloween. So here I was just adding on some extra branches with a very pointed dotting tool so that I had the extra branches in the background. Then I went back in with my nail art brush and created the trunk. So you can see lots of handprints. I've got a cemetery scene with a glowing moon on my other hand. Here is the beautiful glowing details that can be charged with just your phone light. But that is it, guys. Make sure you let me know what you think down below. Make sure to hit like and subscribe, and I'll see you next time. Happy Halloween. Bye.